Welcome back to MicroVerse. In the previous lecture, we learned how Louis Pasteur disapproved the theory of spontaneous generation through the Swan-Lake flask experiment and established the principle of abiogenesis. Pasteur proved that microorganism arises only from pre-existing microorganism. However, another important scientific question still remain unanswered. Do microorganisms actually cause disease, or are they simply present in disease individual? This question was answered by the German physician Robert Koch, whose experiment transformed microbiology from an observational science into an evidence-based medical science. Let's understand who Robert Koch was and why his work remained one of the greatest milestones in medical microbiology. Robert Koch was born in 1843 in Germany and was trained as a physician. Unlike Antony van Leeuwenhoek, whose work focused on discovering microorganisms, Koch's interest was in understanding their role in human disease. At that time, infectious diseases such as anthrax, tuberculosis, and cholera caused widespread illness and death. Although microorganisms had already been observed, scientists still lacked convincing proof that a specific microorganism could produce a specific disease. Koch dedicated his research to answering this fundamental question. One of Koch's earliest and most important investigation involved anthrax, a disease affecting both animals and humans. Through careful laboratory experiment, he demonstrated that Bacillus anthracis was consistently associated with anthrax. More importantly, he showed that this bacterium could be isolated, studied, and linked directly to the disease. This was one of the first clear demonstration of causal relationship between a microorganism and an infectious disease. Koch's contribution did not stop here. He later identified Mycobacterium tuberculosis as the causative agent of a tuberculosis in 1882, a discovery that revolutionized the understanding of one of the world's deadliest diseases. A year later, in 1883, he identified Vibrio cholera, the bacterium responsible for cholera. This discovery provided strong scientific evidence that different infectious diseases are caused by different microorganisms. As Koch continued his research, he realized that simply identifying microorganisms was not enough. Scientists needed a systematic method to prove that microorganism was actually responsible for causing disease. To solve this problem, Koch proposed a set of scientific principles known as Koch postulates. These postulates become the foundation of establishing a cause and effect relationship between microorganism and disease. Although we will study the postulate in detail in the next lecture, it is important to understand that they were developed to answer one central question. How can we scientifically prove that a particular microorganism causes a particular disease? Because of this remarkable contribution, Robert Koch is widely known as the father of medical microbiology. His work proved the experimental evidence supporting the germ theory of disease, changed the way infectious diseases were investigated, and established microbiology as a rigorous scientific discipline. In recognition of his pioneer research on tuberculosis, Robert Koch was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology and Medicine in 1905. So, before we conclude, remember these key points about Robert Koch. He identified the causative organism of anthrax, tuberculosis, and cholera. He established experimental methods to link microorganisms with disease. He developed Koch postulates, which remain a cornerstone of a microbiology. For this contribution, he known as the father of medical microbiology. So, here I give a simple memory trick. Coach connected germs to disease. If you remember this phrase, you will immediately associate Robert Koch with proving the relationship between microorganism and disease. So, in today's lecture, we answer important questions. Who was Robert Koch? He was the scientist who transformed the study of infectious disease by providing scientific evidence that specific microorganisms cause specific disease. His discoveries laid the foundation for modern diagnostic microbiology and infectious disease research. Although Robert Koch demonstrated the microorganism can cause disease, an important question still remains. How did he scientifically prove this relationship? To answer that, he proposed four experimental criteria known as Koch postulates. So, in the next lecture, we will study these postulates step by step and understand how they establish one of the most influential principles in microbiology. Thank you for learning with MicroVerse. Keep learning, keep growing, and let's master microbiology one concept at a time.